If he has 2 burn spells, he gets us. I don't think he has it, though. Yes, and we got the opponent. Look, because we have to spend 2 life to get this one online. We'll have it come in on red. So, guys, we are literally down to 1 HP and a dream, but check this out. Warp this guy out. We still have 3 mana left over, so we can warp out Calamity. Calamity is going to go ahead and saddle the Exalted Sunborn. We get to attack in, and we create 2 tokens that create a bunch more tokens, smack the opponent for 37 damage, I believe, and we went from 1 HP and a dream all the way up to 41 HP. So out of nowhere, this opponent got bodied so insanely hard. GG. 5 mana to work with. Could, of course, have Sheltered by Ghosts or Get Lost. He taps Yuna, so he's going to create a token that is a copy of Overlord. But you just get some flyers that really aren't going to save you. And, I mean, you would have to keep those back to block, but opponent doesn't know. The opponent does not know what's about to hit him. 2, 4. Can we play both if we play this one? Nah, we'll just have 4 mana left over. So, as fun as it would be to play Etali, first of all, he might be able to remove Etali next turn. So we're just going to go with the combo that we're here for. Going to go ahead and tap that one. And then just to assert dominance, we're attacking with everyone. We say, hey, math is for blockers. And like I said, you probably should have kept those 2 back to block. But it doesn't matter, buddy. We just have way too much damage in the air. And again, with Rest in Peace, I say, nice graveyard you have there, Slumlord. GG. Hey there, neighbor, and welcome to another MTG Arena Standard video. Today we are playing with a really fun creature from the Edge of Eternity set, and that is Tannuk, the Steadfast second. I really enjoyed him when I played with him when Edge of Eternities came out, and we're going to revisit him today. He has the text that says, other creatures we control have haste, and on top of that, artifacts and red creature cards in our hand have the warp mechanic, so red creatures we can warp out for 3 mana, and the title of today's deck is Sunborn Calamity, because I want to, you can get Tannuk out on turn 4, and then on turn 5, what I hope to achieve is to warp out Exalted Sunborn for 2 mana, and then we can see that the text on Exalted Sunborn says, if 1 or more tokens would be created under our control, you get to create twice that many tokens instead. So that's with 2 mana, and then with the remaining 3 mana, we will be warping out Calamity, Galloping Inferno. Normally this creature costs 6 mana, but we can warp it out for 3 mana if we do have Tannuk on the battlefield. And when Calamity enters the battlefield, we can saddle up a non-legendary creature we control, so we'll be saddling up the Exalted Sunborn that we warped onto the battlefield, and then we can attack with Calamity, and when we attack, we get to create 2 token copies of the creature that we saddled up, and of course, since we're saddling up Exalted Sunborn, we'll be creating 2 token copies. Exalted Sunborn has the text that says, if a token is created, you get to create twice that many tokens as well. So I'm going to be honest, I don't know how many tokens will actually be created. It's more than 2, which I can't really count higher than that. So I guarantee you that it will be a lot of tokens that are going to be generated when we attack with Calamity, Galloping, Inferno. So that's the combo that I want to try and hit for you guys today, and I'll keep playing until we pull it off. It should definitely be doable. And then since we're playing with Tannuk, the warp mechanic for red creatures, I thought another really fun red creature to play with is Etali, the Primal Storm. I absolutely love Etali, the dinosaur. The Primal Storm version of Etali, I'll be honest, isn't the best. For 6 mana, you get a 6/6. He doesn't have haste or trample or anything like that. And whenever you attack with him, you get to exile the top card of the opponent's library and your library, and you can play that card for free. every time that I play with Etali, it feels like 90% of the time that he does hit the battlefield and he survives, and then you attack with him. No joke, it seems like I hit a land from the opponent's top of the deck and a land from the top of my deck. So you can never really play anything good with him. But again, with Tannuk, we can warp out Etali, and Tannuk has the text that says other creatures we control have haste. So then Etali can attack right away. So yeah, this is the fun portion of the deck. It's the combo portion that we're going to try and pull off for you guys today. That is on the more expensive side, 4 mana, 5 mana, and 6 mana. Of course, with Tannuk, we will hope to be warping out all of these creatures. So ideally, we just need 5 mana to pull off the full combo, which isn't crazy expensive. But then, yeah, the lower mana curve of the deck, we're going with Lightstall Inquisitor for 1 mana. We get a 2/1 Vigilance Angel Wizard that will just tax the opponent a little tiny bit. They have to choose a card in their hand. And if it's a land card, then it comes in tapped. If it's a creature card, then it will cost 1 generic mana more. So it's a little bit of tax. And I mean, a 2/1 body with Vigilance is pretty nice, either to attack the opponent down or just to block with. And then in the 2 mana slot, we have Get Lost for a little tiny bit of removal. Can destroy a creature, enchantment, or planeswalker, so it's pretty versatile right there. We have the Charming Scoundrel for 2 mana. I think we'll either be looking to discard a card and draw a card just to look for one of our payoffs, or we'll be looking to create a treasure token just to help us ramp a little tiny bit. And then speaking of ramp, for the next creature that we're playing in the 2 mana slot, it's the Zookeeper Mechan. He can be tapped to add 1 red mana, which again will help with the ramp a little bit, either to play Tannuk or to help us warp out one of our creatures as well. So that's the deck that we're running with today. I know it doesn't seem like a lot of cards because I want to talk about it for 1 second. Standard right now, it feels like everyone is trying to just abuse the graveyard. There are so many good reanimation strategies that I personally feel like you have to be running some graveyard hate in every single deck that you're playing. Since we are playing with a few white creatures, primarily Exalted Sunborn, I think the best piece of graveyard hate in all of Standard right now is Rest in Peace for 2 mana. You can get this enchantment down, and it just says that the graveyard does not exist anymore. Any card that would go into the graveyard goes into exile instead. So everyone who is trying to abuse the graveyard, this just hard counters them. And I've included some cards in the sideboard that I think everyone is playing with that does abuse the graveyard. There is the Sephiroth Sacrifice deck that uses Raise the Past to bring back all of their tiny weenie creatures for mana value 2 or less. This card is also played in the tiny weenie mono white creature deck sometimes as well, but it's primarily in the Sephiroth Sacrifice deck where they just get so much value from sacrificing creatures. The creatures that they sacrifice usually leave behind a token, and then when that creature's in the graveyard, they hit us with a big Raise the Past to bring back like 3, 4, 5 creatures. And they can drain you out that way. It's pretty annoying. So this Rest in Peace will, of course, just make Raise the Past a dead card in their hand. There is the Una deck from Final Fantasy Una Hope of Spira for 5 mana. At the beginning of your end step, you get to return an enchantment from the graveyard to the battlefield, and there are some really powerful enchantments. There's the Summon Bahamut for 9 mana. You get insane value off that. There's the Summon Knights of Round, where that one creates 3 2/2 tokens every turn for 5 turns in a row, and the Summon Knights of Round is a 3/3 indestructible creature. And of course, Una can bring back a lot of the Overlords that are just so good. So again, Raise the Past, not Raise the Past, Rest in Peace will shut that down as well. And then I think probably the most annoying one is, of course, just the true reanimation strategies that are running around. 4 mana, Zombify, return a target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. This is just running rampant right now in Standard because with the new Spider-Man set, or the Through the Omen Path set on Arena as it's called, there is another 4 mana card called Caverio Mind Bitten, also for 4 mana. Caverio says you can have him enter as a copy of any creature in any graveyard. So the whole point of that deck, and you guys, every single YouTuber has made a video about this deck. They try and get Bringer of the Last Gift. Normally he costs 8 mana, and when this creature enters, everyone has to sacrifice all other creatures on the battlefield, and then you can return all creatures from the graveyard to the battlefield. Both people get to do that, but they don't really try and remove any of your creatures, so you will essentially have no creatures in your graveyard. They'll be milling themselves out a ton, so they have a bunch of creatures in their graveyard, and then either with 4 copies of Zombify or 4 copies of Caverio, so that's 8 total copies of a reanimation strategy. They can bring back Bringer of the Last Gift, and they essentially just one-shot you. It is a one-shot combo, and like I said, every single YouTuber has made a video showcasing that card. I'll probably make a deck about it as well, just because it is really popular, and I'm sure it's a lot of fun, but I have ran into it so much these past 2 days that I feel like you just have to be running some Graveyard Hate, and we're going with Rest in Peace. So this is the last card in our deck as well. But with that out of the way, let's just jump into some games and see if we can hit the opponent with the Sunborn Calamity combo. I'll see you guys there. All right, guys, opponent goes first. We do have the combo in our hand. We just need Mr. Tannuk himself to show up. Could be green landfall. That would be sad. That would be sad. We do get to tax them a little tiny bit. Druneth, Riverhive. That guy costs 3 mana now. And he gets down the Goldbane Hydra. I will just go ahead and take that one out right now. Get Lost is pretty nice. I still will get down a Lightstall Inquisitor. Just go ahead and tax them a little tiny bit more. So he has a land coming in tap now. So it's not the green landfall deck. At least I don't think it is. So that land comes in untapped. Could see an Ouroboros right now. He just goes with the Hydra. Again, I'll just take the trade because that thing has Vigilance. So opponent is creating a bunch of treasure tokens, and I guess for right now, I will get down the Charming Scoundrel. We'll go ahead and create the treasure token, and we'll go ahead and say no attack. So we have 4 mana. This will be 5. If we don't find Tannuk anytime soon, then this is an 8 mana combo, so really expensive. But we could also just get down the Exalted Sunborn on turn 5 and then play the Inferno on turn 6. Could do that. So there is Druneth. Whenever you cast a spell with mana value equal to his power, copy that spell. Okay, well, that's not equal to his power, so that's fine. Could remove Ouroboros right now. Do have to burn the treasure token to do that, but I do think it's worth it. That creature is way too big of a problem. So yeah, that does set us back a little tiny bit on mana, but I trust that we'll draw some lands. Can only warp this one out right now, so we're not going to do that. Druneth is legendary, so he can't play that one. Is just going to go ahead and pump up this one into the Flood Maw. That is pretty scary. Does he keep it? Yikes. So if he does keep up any mana open when we try and get our combo down, he can just bounce it with into the Flood Maw. Ooh, he does choose to bin it. That I'm actually pretty happy about. And it's just another land from the opponent, so not... That's an interesting choice right there. Not sure he realized it was a legendary creature. Do hit the land drop. That will be 5 mana, so I will shock that one in. And here comes Exalted Sunborn, and I mean... Fingers crossed that we draw a land next turn and that he doesn't have an Into the Flood Maw. Because then we'll get the combo down, and we did it without Tannuk. He does find the Ouroboros. It's a little tiny bit unfortunate. Doesn't attack. We missed the land drop, which sucks for us. And I don't know if he has any protection spells or anything, so while he is empty-handed, I will go ahead and... remove Ouroboros. Can attack through for 4 damage, gain 4 life ourselves. We did gift him 2 map tokens so he can pump up Druneth again. And for us, it is a 40% chance to hit a land. Can you believe it? This guy is not even a quarter of the way through his deck, and he has already found 2 Hydras, 2 Druniths, and 3 of his Ouroboroi, the best card in his deck. Ay, ay, ay. Damn, and this one even gets to stay. Yeah, that you absolutely hate to see. Shuffler's fine. Never complain about it. He even gets to put a counter on that one. Hopefully it's a land. It is just a land. He does lose this Quantum Riddle, but he does get to keep this one, which is a 5/7. And I think we're just dead next turn. Oh no, he loses that one as well. We miss the land drop, and then we won't have 3 mana to warp out. Oh no. Alright, well, we do gain 4 life for that. We can chump block Ouroboroi, but he will get down the Quantum Riddle, which is just a chump blocker. So yeah, Tannuk just came in too late, and we never hit our 6th land drop, which does also suck. So yeah, now he just has a massive blocker. I'm not sure how many tokens we'll be creating, so I mean, I will, as funny as it sounds, mitigate 1 damage. He doesn't have any blue mana, so if he does have a Into the Flood Maw, then he at least wait, why can't we warp this one out? Oh, we can warp it out. I was like, what? I thought we had to activate Tannuk. But yeah, we're going to warp out this Calamity. And then we will go ahead and saddle up this Exalted Sunborn. We'll go ahead and play this Lightstall Inquisitor. Tax him a little bit, but I mean, this guy has so much mana that it doesn't really matter. And then we can go to attack steps. And how many tokens are we creating? A lot of tokens, and that's more than and they're attacking as well. I did not know that they entered attacking, so we actually got the opponent right there. Beat this Quantum Riddle deck. And how many tokens did we create? So Calamity creates 2 tokens themselves, and then they each created 8 more tokens as well. Wow, let's absolutely go. We're up to 50 life. Opponent is at -24, so yeah, there was the full combo. It wasn't, of course, in the correct sequence because we drew Tannuk a little bit late. And, I mean, yeah, we never hit our 6th land drop, so that also is a feels bad moment. But, yeah, we basically got 10 attacking tokens. All of them are 4 or 5s, and they all have lifelink, so GG. All right, guys, opponent goes first, and this is a really risky hand to keep. Probably shouldn't keep it because we have a turn 2 play, but it's just to shut the graveyard down. Other than that, Tannuk comes out on turn 4, so, yeah, I would definitely recommend not keeping this type of hand. But, I mean, I'll take the risk so you guys don't have to. And if he is playing a graveyard reanimation deck, which doesn't look like it, it's just mono red. Okay, well, we do have the full combo in our hand, so that's really nice. As long as there's instant or sorcery in your graveyard, so Rest in Peace will at least shut that down. Deals 2 damage. Oh, man. I think we're just going to get aggroed out. Also, because this guy gets to go first. So, yeah, here comes Rest in Peace. We can get the Multiversal Passage down next turn. Won't have to take any damage for that. And then we can get the Mountain down. And then we actually do need to hit a 5th land drop to get this full combo online. So, taking 3 damage right here. Opponent might have a pump spell. Could have some burn spells. It's just another one of those guys. That's fine. Starting town. Yeah, we'll do it like that. We'll get down starting town. And then we can get down the mountain. We can get down Tannuk. And then we can shock this one in if need be to get the full combo. But he does have some burn spells. Taking 4 damage a turn. I'm glad that he burned that one right now. Is this a pump spell? It's just a burst lightning. I'm glad he's getting rid of those right now. We are down to 6, and he has 1 card in hand. So we have the combo next turn. He's dealing 4 damage. I think we're just going to block this guy. That's 3 damage. If he has 2 burn spells, he gets us. I don't think he has it, though. Yes, and we got the opponent. Look, because we have to spend 2 life to get this one online. We'll have it come in on red. So, guys, we are literally down to 1 HP and a dream, but check this out. Warp this guy out. We still have 3 mana left over, so we can warp out Calamity. Calamity is going to go ahead and saddle the Exalted Sunborn. We get to attack in, and we create 2 tokens that create a bunch more tokens, smack the opponent for 37 damage, I believe, and we went from 1 HP and a dream all the way up to 41 HP. So out of nowhere, this opponent got bodied so insanely hard. GG. All right, guys, we get to go first. We are recording, right? Yeah, we are recording. I'll keep this hand. Got 2 rest in peace, so if the opponent is trying to do any graveyard stuff, we just hard counter that. So this one can come in red, and that one can come in untapped. The Charming Scoundrel. I see some Orzhov colors. And it's the Infestation Sage, so Rest in Peace will be able to shut this deck down pretty hard. Charming Scoundrel. We'll go ahead and discard a card. We'll get rid of 1 Rest in Peace. He could have Surf on Dom, which I believe can destroy something when that creature dies. Not 100% sure. But we did find Exalted Sunborn. We'll go ahead and say no attacks right now. We're going to say no blocks right there. And he gets down. The Forsaken Miner, that thing can't block. This one can come in as a red source, and it can enter tapped. Here comes Rest in Peace, so you don't have access to your graveyard anymore. I know for sure you're holding on to a Raise the Past, so that I'm pretty happy about. Next turn we can get down the Zookeeper. Voice of Victory is a pretty nice draw for them. But yeah, we'll get down the Zookeeper, and we'll just go ahead and blow up Voice of Victory. You do get the 2 treasure tokens, so good for you. But yeah, next turn we can get out the Exalted Sunborn, because we have 5 mana thanks to the Zookeeper. He does pump up the Sage. It's the Vengeful Blood Witch. That creature doesn't do anything for you, because you don't get the triggers off of it. Double attack on the Forsaken Miner, kind of interesting, but I'll take that trade. And then that creature will just go in the graveyard forever. And opponent even chose blockers the wrong way. That you absolutely love to see. I'll actually hold on to this land because we might want to discard it with Charming Scoundrel. So yeah, here comes Exalted Sunborn. We'll go ahead and say no attacks right there. And now we have a 4/5 with lifelink. And yeah, you don't have access to your graveyard, which your deck desperately needs, buddy. That is a nice creature for you. You do get some nice Surveil action off him, but the Vengeful Blood Witch, yeah, that's not doing anything for you. And then a Starting Town. So what we'll actually do, we'll get down Charming Scoundrel, and then we'll ditch the Starting Town. So discard a card and then draw a card. Drop off Starting Town. And we find Calamity, so that's the full combo with Exalted Sunborn. I don't think he has any discard, so we will just go ahead and attack with the Exalted Sunborn. Go ahead and gain 4 life, so we go up to 17, and then we can use both these Charming Scoundrels as some blockers. We do need to keep the Zookeeper for our 6th mana source. There's Vengeful Blood Witch. Again, that guy does literally nothing for you right now. He's just a 1/1. And I'll take 3 damage. That's no problem at all. And, I mean, we even drew the land on top of it. But yeah, here comes the Galloping Inferno. And we've seen this combo before. Unfortunately, we didn't hit it with Tannuk, but we'll go ahead and tap the Exalted Sunborn. And then we can just attack with Just Calamity, that's fine. Create the 2 tokens, and then since they're tokens that are entering, this guy doubles them up. They all see each other doubling up, so yeah, GG. Not really much you can do right there. Bop, bop, smack, boop, bop. Nice graveyard. All right, guys, we get to go first. Honestly, you should never keep this hand because we have only a turn 4 play, but I'm going to risk it. Hopefully we draw something along the way. Because, yeah, we can get out Tannuk, and then we can warp out Etali. If we do find our Angel, we have the full combo. So, found another Tannuk, which is kind of nice. He might have some kill spells. Hopefully he doesn't have any bounce spells. Ooh, weapons manufacturing. I can dig it. It's a little bit of a slower deck. They create these munition tokens that can only deal 2 damage. Tannuk has 5 defense, which is pretty nice. The Legion Extruder. So he does get to create the token right now and ping us for 2. And there is another artifact. So yeah, here comes Tannuk. And next turn we can warp out Etali, which will be quite nice. Hopefully we just draw the full combo. Opponent probably plays a few more artifacts right now. All right, and hopefully he doesn't have a way of sacking all of these right now. I'm definitely not going to block with Tannuk because, again, the 5 toughness is pretty nice. He needs to sacrifice 3 of those tokens. He might be able to sacrifice 2 of them. So, yeah, here comes a Warp Speed Etali. And, yeah, he doesn't have Trample, which absolutely sucks. So he can just chump block with this 1/1. So, yeah, Etali just is not a good creature for 6 mana. Giving him haste is, of course, nice. Let's see what we hit from the opponent. There is a stick, so he could even have a bounce spell. But Etali for us, what do you find? Sacrifice an artifact or creature, and then you can exile an artifact or creature the opponent plays. Honestly, I don't really want to do that. So, yeah, again, not the best hit from Etali. Could, of course, have sacrificed Etali, take away his weapons manufacturing, but yeah. And yeah, this is a deck. They don't really do anything with their graveyard, so really, really poor hits from Etali. Next turn, we will have 6 mana, though, so we can play him out again. And yeah, we actually don't even get to... Wow, I'm surprised he did not sack that creature. 2 mana and tap this. He could have sacked that creature to create a 3/3 golem. So that's a little bit interesting. He's going to sacrifice the munitions token. The Rust Harvester. So yeah, that one can also 2 mana and tap it. So yeah, I just have to take this 1 damage from these 2, just because I'm definitely not blocking with Tannuk. Hopefully we draw our Angel. That would be pretty nice deck if you could hit me up. No, just another Etali. I think I'll get this one out, though, from the Warp Zone. We'll get this one out from the Warp Zone. And then, I mean, we will just attack right away. Hopefully we find some good things and not just 2 lands. I mean, yeah, Tezzeret doesn't help us out at all. We don't have any artifacts in our deck, so... And, yeah, Etali hit a land from our deck. So, that's what I was saying in the deck intro. This creature, he's just not good. It's just as simple as that. And, yeah, we're just dead next turn, because he can attack with all these creatures. This opponent is playing a little bit strange. He could have just taken 6 damage, had these tokens back to block. Untap an artifact. Well, we don't have one. Could untap his artifact. That would be pretty funny. But yeah, he could have kept those 2 3/3s back, and then that's 6 damage. He has 9 damage on board, plus this one to sacrifice one of those. So that's 11 damage right there. He's going after our life total. I mean, if he has a way of sacrificing this last munitions token, we are just dead. 4. Because, yeah, this Rust Harvester can sack a token. This Legion Extruder can sack a token. So that's 4 damage. He would have 1 mana left over. Oh. I mean, I still think we're dead. Get Lost can get rid of weapons manufacturing, but that will create 2 artifacts for our opponent. So we'll go ahead. We'll warp out Etali. And yeah, I don't see how we can win, which is unfortunate. Don't even really know what Etali could find for us, because yeah, we're past attack steps right now. Opponent sacks a munitions token. Well, I mean, we did find our own Legion Extruder, and we did find Calamity, who we can use to block right now. And Legion Extruder can go ahead and blow up this Rust Harvester. Do you get to put a counter on Tezzeret, which is pretty nice. Big loyalty on a Planeswalker of ours that does absolutely nothing for us. Oh, but yeah, if he has a way of double sacking these next turn, then we're also just dead.
Bow to your new overlord.
Yeah, again, it's so strange that he's blocking with these tokens. I don't know why. I don't know why. We have 7. So yeah, for us, it really is the hope that he doesn't have a way of sacking both these munition tokens right now. Okay, I don't think so, because he has just 2 cards in hand, and he didn't sack that one. This opponent could have finished us off, honestly, 3 turns ago, I'm pretty sure. I will keep Get Lost. Oh my gosh, guys, I cannot believe we really don't deserve to win this game, but I'm not complaining, so we'll warp out. We don't even really need to warp him out. We can just pay the full cost. We missed a land. Yeah, it doesn't matter. So we'll just pay the full cost right now. There's no stick from the opponent, so we'll go ahead and saddle up the Exalted Sunborn, and then we can just attack with everyone, get to create the 2 tokens, which create 8 tokens themselves then. They all have lifelink, so we're gaining a bunch of life, and I don't know if this guy was playing with us, but he honestly could have finished us off that 3 turns ago when he was blocking with these Golem tokens, because Etali does not have trample, so he could have just blocked with the 1/1. He could have also just chosen to take 6 damage. I mean, you still have 14 life then. Bunch of these tokens that you can sacrifice. So, wow, we pulled a rabbit out of the hat there. This Exalted Sunborn came in at the perfect time. Wow, GG. All right, guys, we get to go first, have Tannuk, and we have Calamity, so we just need to find the Exalted Sunborn. And we got our combo. We do also need to find a 4th land drop. But, I mean, with Tannuk, we can also warp out Etali. It's always a fun creature to have hit the battlefield and attack right away. Opponent's thinking about this Lightstall Inquisitor. And they just choose a land, so that land probably comes in tapped right now. Nope. They choose a different land, and they go with a Duress. That actually hits nothing, so that you absolutely love to see. We do need red mana, so I will shock this one in. Can get out Charming Scoundrel, and I will 100% create the treasure token. Can attack with both these creatures. That land does come in tapped. Oh, exile a card. That is so unfortunate. If we get rid of the land and don't hit a land drop, we're not able to play Tannuk. If we get rid of Etali, then the only creature we can warp in is Calamity. If we get rid of Calamity, that's part of our combo piece gone. And I think we were going to get rid of Calamity, play the Sunbillow Verge, get out Tannuk right now by burning the treasure token. Hope that he doesn't have any targeted removal. He is playing mono black, so they should be playing some removal. So yeah, we would have to hope that Tannuk survives a turn. And then we would be left with just Etali in our hands, so we'd also have to hope that he doesn't have another discard spell. And I mean, the only 2 spells we've seen from this guy is a discard spell, so yeah, I think he gave up a little bit early, but I mean, yeah, we got there. Some people are just so scared of Tannuk that they don't even let the game play out. GG. All right, guys, playing against Smoke Joke. Got Tannuk, which you love to see. Starting town on turn 1. Also have the Zookeeper on turn 2, so we can get Tannuk out on turn 3, which is really nice. So that could be a turn 4 warp of a creature, if we have a creature to warp out. But yeah, we'll go ahead and get a look at what the opponent's playing with. They could, of course, just choose a land. Won't tell us too much, except what colors they're playing. It is a mountain, so could be mono red, but could also be a lot of other things. For right now, we'll get down the Zookeeper, and the Lightstall Inquisitor can punch in for 2. And then next turn, we do have Tannuk. Hired Claw, so it is probably, yeah, mono red. Might have some burn spells, and yeah, Tannuk having 5 toughness is really nice. Just because if they do have burn spells, which I'm sure they do, but they would have to go for a 2-for-1. And there is the Exalted Sunborn, so things are coming together really nicely. If we do draw Calamity, Galloping, Inferno, 1, 2, 3, 4, have this one shock it in, that's 5 mana, so we can warp this one out and then warp out the Galloping Inferno. So you guys, I've rigged it. I already know I'm drawing Galloping Inferno, but you guys don't know that yet, so I'm gonna ask, deck, can I please get a Galloping Inferno off the top? So yeah, we're definitely not blocking with Tannuk. Definitely not blocking with Tannuk. I think he can spend 2 mana to pump these guys up, so I may also not block with the Lightstall Inquisitor. Yeah, if you don't spend any mana to do anything, I'm definitely not going to block because I know that you will just pump those creatures up. So that's a big no blocks from us. Big no blocks from us. Could be a pump spell even. No, it is just to pump it up. Okay, guys, I was joking. I actually didn't know that I was not going to draw a Galloping Inferno off the top. I will go ahead and shock this one in just so we can get down the Exalted Sunborn. Also has a 5 toughness, which is really nice. And then I will attack. Tannuk gives everyone haste. I forgot about that, so let's absolutely go. So gained 4 life right there, even though we did shock that one in. I think the opponent missed a land drop last turn, so that sucks for them. But it is mono red aggro. They don't usually need more than 2 mana for their deck to function, and they do have burn spells. But yeah, I think this opponent is just dead next turn, because our Tannuk can also give our Lightstall Inquisitor haste, which is pretty nice. Alright, GG, buddy. Yeah, Tannuk giving creature, I always forget that second, or the first part, I guess, technically. Other creatures, you have haste. So yeah, Exalted Sunborn could come in, swing for 4 damage over the top. He was all tapped out, so it didn't even matter, and gain 4 life. Let's go. Alright, guys, opponent goes first. I'll keep this hand. The Foundry can come in tapped, and then we can get down the Charming Scoundrel, probably drop a land to draw a card. Could also create a treasure token just to maybe ramp into Etali a little bit sooner, but I mean, mono white. Okay, never mind. This guy is trying to do stuff with his graveyard. It's a unit deck, I'm pretty sure, when you see Knights of Round and Esper Origin, so yeah, I don't want you to do anything with your graveyard, buddy. Yeah, you go ahead, gain that 1 life. You go ahead and gain that 1 life. Even found the Exalted Sunborn. Playing against Slumlord. I mean, you can play your enchantments for its fair mana cost. Nope, didn't have anything. This was actually a pretty nice draw because we can go Zookeeper, into Lightstall Inquisitor, just to tax you a little tiny bit. Just to tax you a little tiny bit. It's another Dredger's Insight. That's a dead card in their hand, just because they can mill stuff, but it would just go straight into the graveyard. And it's the Overlord of the Mistmoors. See, you can still play your creatures for its fair cost. Create a token that's a copy of an enchantment. That's pretty scary. This one I will shock it in. Pay 2 life. And then we can warp this one out. Could also just play him straight up. Nah, because I want to get Etali down next turn. But I think maybe warping this guy out maybe a little bit better. And then we can punch in for 2. And the next turn we can get a double Charming Scoundrel. We'll be able to create a bunch of treasure tokens. And see, he does have Yuna. But nothing to get out of his graveyard, which is really nice. Create a token that's a copy of an enchantment you control. Ooh, and there's the Galloping Inferno, so I think we win next turn. So right now we will go with a nice juicy treasure token, and we get to create 2 treasure tokens. Same with this Charming Scoundrel. Go ahead and create 2 juicy treasure tokens for me. And then we'll attack with these creatures. Big bap. Opponent's down to 11. And I think we got them next turn. Hopefully he doesn't remove our Exalted Sunborn. 5 mana to work with. Could, of course, have Sheltered by Ghosts or Get Lost. He taps Yuna, so he's going to create a token that is a copy of Overlord. But you just get some flyers that really aren't going to save you, and I mean, you would have to keep those back to block, but opponent doesn't know. The opponent does not know what's about to hit him. 2, 4. Can we play both if we play this one? Nah, we'll just have 4 mana left over. So, as fun as it would be to play Etali, first of all, he might be able to remove Etali next turn. So we're just going to go with the combo that we're here for. Going to go ahead and tap that one. And then just to assert dominance, we're attacking with everyone. We say, hey, math is for blockers. And like I said, you probably should have kept those 2 back to block. But it doesn't matter, buddy. We just have way too much damage in the air. And again, with Rest in Peace, I say, nice graveyard you have there, Slumlord. GG. All right, guys, we get to go first. It's not the best hand, but we do have Rest in Peace. And if we are playing against a graveyard deck, that will be quite nice. Definitely don't need another land. We have 4 lands right now. Swamp, black, usually does want to access the graveyard, so we'll get down Rest in Peace, say that the graveyard does not exist anymore. Opponent's playing with Authority. So that actually shuts down our Calamity. That does shut down our whole combo, which is pretty annoying. Maybe we can find Get Lost. Go ahead and remove this. Seam Rip for some exile. So they are a control build for sure. There is Etali, which is pretty nice. We do have 6 lands, but I'm pretty sure this guy's sitting on a bunch of removal. Ooh, there is Get Lost, which is pretty nice. We'll save that for the opponent's turn. And then next turn we can get down Etali, but I'm pretty sure opponent does just have a kill spell since he's not playing any creatures or anything. We do get to give him some card draw. He did miss a land drop though, and it is his end step, so he definitely can't play a land right now. He's going to sacrifice that to draw a card, so he is all tapped out. He is all tapped out. 8 cards in hand, so he has to discard. It's the 0 point. We will get down Etali, but I don't think he survives for a turn. Probably gets hit with the Seam Rip, even though that can't get him. Yeah, it's just someone who's just going to clear the board turn after turn. But maybe we can get the opponent 2, 4, 6. We need one more land, and if he does not play an Authority of the Consuls, I think we can get him. So untap land off the top for us. Elspeth Stormslayer, that's not going to save you. We need an untapped land.
I welcome all allies.
Yes. Guys, let's go. So we warp this guy in for just 2 mana. We still have 6 mana remaining, so here comes Calamity. We will go ahead and saddle up the Exalted Sunborn, and then Calamity can attack face, create 10 tokens. 2, 3. We'll have one of them go after Elspeth, who's at 6, so we'll have 2 of them go after Elspeth. You don't need that Planeswalker. And yeah, GG. So yeah, getting rid of the Authority of the Consuls was pretty important right there, because then Calamity does not come in with haste. And I'm pretty sure this guy is sitting on just another removal.
Dark days lie ahead.
So yeah, got rid of their Elspeth, did a ton of damage to them, removed one of their tokens. So yeah, GG. All right, guys, we get to go first. We have Exalted Sunborn. That's one of the combo pieces we need. Go ahead and get down Sacred Foundry on turn 1. Ooh, there's Tannuk as well, which I really like. So we actually will play Charming Scoundrel. We'll go ahead and create the treasure token. So next turn we can get down Tannuk. We'll have to burn the treasure token to do that, but then we will have 3 mana. So the turn after that we can warp out Etali. But there is the Calamity, so... And we do need 5 mana for that entire combo. So, yeah, I still will go with this because we can get down Etali next turn. Go ahead and warp him out. Oh, opponent gave it up. Why? Well, GG, I guess. Hey there, neighbor, and welcome to the post-game wrap. And today we looked at a really fun combo. I don't know how often we pulled off the true combo with the sequence that I intended, where on turn 4 you go to Tannuk, and then turn 5 you hit a land drop, so that for 2 mana you can warp out Exalted Sunborn, and then with the remaining 3 mana we can warp out our red creature, being Calamity, Galloping, Inferno, warp him out for 3 mana. Then you can saddle up onto the Exalted Sunborn. Calamity attacks in, creates 2 tokens that are a copy of the creature that we saddled, so we create 2 copies of the Exalted Sunborn. And we can see with this Exalted Sunborn on the battlefield and all the other double tokens that we create, we end up making 8 more tokens. And honestly, it's really cool that they are tapped and attacking in right away, because you can kind of finish off the opponent right there. I thought you just created the tokens, and I thought they had Summoning Sickness, but you would have at least a bunch of tokens that you could block with. So yeah, it is really nice that you can just one-shot the opponent that way. It does take 5 mana, and you do need Tannuk to survive for a turn, which, you know, doesn't always happen. Opponents could remove him. And then you do need both of these creatures in your hand to pull off the combo. I know we pulled it off a few other times as well with just 6 mana, I'm pretty sure. I know another time we actually pulled it off with 8 mana, warped this one out for 2 mana, and then we played Calamity for 6 mana right there. So that was pretty crazy. But yeah, the other red creature we're playing with is Etali, the Primal Storm, just because I have a soft spot for Etali. I absolutely love this dinosaur, but this specific card, Etali, the Primal Storm, he's just not a good card. For 6 mana, he has Summoning Sickness, so opponents will usually remove him, but even if you do attack with him, you get to exile the top card of each player's library, and you can play those cards for free. But I think in just the last game we played, we saw that... yeah, you don't really hit the best things. You can hit a land sometimes, and you can't play the lands then. We hit a Planeswalker from the opponent, but it's Tezzeret, where you need a bunch of artifacts, and we don't have a single artifact in our deck, so pretty useless hits off Etali. And then he doesn't even have Trample, so if the opponent just has a chump blocker, they can just chump block him for days. But yeah, it still does scratch that little tiny itch of you do get to roll a roulette wheel, and maybe you do hit something crazy off the opponent's deck. Maybe you hit something crazy off your deck. You could find Calamity or Exalted Sunborn. So yeah, you could probably go with a different red creature. And I'll say this as well, this deck, heavy meme deck. It's pretty janky. It's not super consistent. And honestly, yeah, surviving until turn 4 and then having both these combo pieces on turn 5, it doesn't happen that often. Maybe you're missing Exalted Sunborn and then warping out Galloping Calamity. Not the best. So yeah, this is a heavy jank deck. I would probably say don't craft it, but it was a lot of fun to play with. And then the early game, one of the main cards we're playing is Rest in Peace, just because so many people are abusing the graveyard right now. I went over it in the deck intro of kind of the main decks that are utilizing the graveyard, so this does just shut all of those decks down. I do kind of wish we had a little bit more removal in the deck, because one deck that we struggled very hard against today is the green landfall deck, which is also very, very prevalent. A lot of people are running it. You can make a pretty good budget version, and there's a lot of good cards in that deck, so we really don't have that much removal. Only Get Lost is what really does it for us, and that's not enough sometimes. So yeah, you might want to cut a few copies of Rest in Peace to go up some more removal, but then at the same time, yeah, you are a bit weaker to those graveyard decks. So, but yeah, Lightstall Inquisitor being able to tax the opponent's pretty nice. Charming Scoundrel for the treasure token, that does come into play quite often. Can get Tannuk out on turn 3 then. And same with the Zookeeper Mechan for 2 mana. He comes in and you can tap him to add 1 red mana. So again, that can help you get Tannuk out on turn 3 if you do have 3 land drops and a Charming Scoundrel treasure token or the Zookeeper Mechan. But then again, you do have to burn the treasure token to play Tannuk on turn 3. So turn 4, even if you don't have a land, you will have at least 3 mana, which is pretty nice. So then you could warp out an Etali if you have him. But if you have the Exalted Sunborn and the Galloping Inferno, then yeah, you're only left with 3 mana. So then you're still not able to pull the combo off. Even if you do draw a land, that is just 4 mana. Well, that's not true. That's only if you burn the treasure token from Charming Scoundrel. If you do have the red mana from Zookeeper Mechan, then turn 4 you could pull this combo off, potentially. But yeah, that was the deck today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I've been rambling long enough. If you made it this far into the video, go ahead and hit me up with a subscription. It helps me out tremendously. Leave a thumbs up and any comments down below of any decks you would like to see me play. But yeah, guys, I'm just going to end it like I always end it. I love you guys. Peace out.